Alright, here we are back for our first match of this league, and with Infect, and we get to play first. I would love to keep this hand if I knew that I had a forest on top, but also at the same time, I don't even think that would make it keepable, because, first of all, Groundswell requires you to draw multiple lands, and you would need 2 lands for this. Yeah. This hand's okay. This hand's not bad. Opponent's also on a mulligan, that's good. Generally, like, I'm gonna keep this. Generally, you want to keep hands that always have an infect creature in them. Like, it's the basic rule of modern. Like, you always mull a hand without an infect creature in it. So let's go ahead and get Taxian Probe just to see what my opponent's working with here. Looks like we're up against Delver with a pretty crappy hand. Let's go ahead and do this crap. Bam. So they have 2 islands, a ponder, a golem, and a gush. Okay. So they're probably going to go turn 1 ponder. Yep. And then next turn, I'm probably going to go groundswell just to get the damage in, maybe. Well, they chose to shuffle. Actually, maybe not. Another blight mamba. See, the problem is I want to get the most out of groundswell, but I guess getting the creature out is also fine too. Did my opponent draw a daze? That would suck. Nope. Alright, cool. Attack for 1. Let's get in. I mean, I could groundswell and attack for 5, but then, like, if my opponent has anything on a turn 2 play, I don't have really a board state. That's fine with me. Another Glistener Elf. That's not really one I wanted. Well, actually, it can be if my opponent just blocks the Glistener Elf here, so. Wow, they're just taking it. Holy crap. Alright. I'm gonna go Blight Mamba, make the most out of my mana. Attack for 1, Ninja the Deep Hours me. So they have a Gush, and they have a Spire Golem in their hand, that's all I know. No, they just said go. That's interesting. Groundswell's not bad, actually. Double Groundswell. I would win the game. Let's go ahead and attack, though, for 3. See what my opponent does. They did not do anything. Well, I'm just going to say go, because pretty much now, yeah, I figured that. They always have Spellstutter Sprite. They could gush too if they wanted. Oh, wow, they are gushing. Holy crap. I did not see that coming, but alright. So, pretty much now, all of my creatures are lethal considering the cards in my hand. Are they not going to play a land? That'd be gas. And a Delver. Okay. Let's see what I draw. A forest. That was pretty much the perfect time to draw a forest. So we're gonna attack with everything. I am I am so 110% certain my opponent's gonna block all 3 of them unless there's something that I'm not aware of. Really? Alright. I guess my opponent's just well, we're just gonna groundswell and win the game. I think there my opponent was just giving himself the best shot of winning if I don't have any pump spells, like maybe if my hand's all land or if they're all creatures. That's fair. So, against Delver, the problem is everything is already just good enough. Could bring in Nature's Claim, but you really shouldn't unless you know they have Curse of Chains. Just to destroy Spire Golem isn't really that great. Gut Shot is pretty good. Rot Wolf is also okay, but I'm not too fond of it on the draw. I'm not too fond of it being slow on the draw. Could bring in Gut Shot. It might be better than Gataxian Probe. Yeah, it's probably better than Gataxian Probe. And I think I can afford to shave a pump spell. Probably a groundswell, just because forcing me to draw a land is not great. I still like Apostle's Blessing against Delver. I guess you could shave an Apostle's Blessing, actually. But I still like it. I like it better than Gataxian Probe on the draw. On the play, I like Gataxian Probe better because you want to be more aggressive. But on the draw, Apostle's Blessing can definitely get you out of a bit of a jam. This hand's really good because we can go turn 1 Glistener Elf. We have an answer to a turn 1 Delver if it comes to that. That's fine. And then if or when my opponent goes, well, I guess now if they go Spellstar Sprite, it's not great, but all right, double Groundswell. I'm not a angry fan about it. No, no card for you. Wahaha. And a Coral Net. Beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature unless you wait, what? Oh, I have to discard a card, or okay. That's annoying. I don't really want to discard a card. But I also don't want to sacrifice my creature. I guess Praetor Strike can go. It's 2 mana, it's not great. Alright, well. Fair enough. Gonna attack here for 1. So my opponent's not blocking. And I think I just want to resolve the other 2 Glistener Elves. And then hopefully my opponent maybe doesn't have anything. Alright, take 1. So I think here I just let it go. I'm gonna play the Forest on the off chance that maybe my opponent plays a Spellstar Sprite to block and I can go double Groundswell. No, they didn't. Alright, well they're at 3 and now a lot of things off the top of my deck are really good. They might just, if they just have counterspells in their hand and they're trying to race me, I think that's fine too. I keep expecting a Ninja of the Deep Hours to hit me, but it doesn't, which is good for me. So my opponent resolved a Delver and didn't attack this time. Ichor Claw Mirror. Alright, well, let's go ahead and attack. See what my opponent does about it. Is it block and block? No, it's block 1. Okay. Let's go ahead and play Ichor Claw Mirror. Do they have a counterspell? I hope they have a Spellstutter Strike, because that would just make me laugh. No, they have a counterspell. Are they flipping the Delver is the question. They did not flip the Delver. That's good and bad at the same time, by the way. Because them not flipping the Delver could mean they drew a land, but then them also not flipping the Delver could mean they drew a creature, which would be a bad thing. Another land. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and attack. My opponent does block. I'm going to use Groundswell here. I guess I could have saved the land in case my opponent goes Coral Net. I probably should have done that. Counterspell. Groundswell again. Oh, that one worked. Alright. So my opponent probably has a land as their last card, since they didn't counter it. And they said go. That's good for me. Vines of Vastwood. That's also good. So now, if my Glistener Elf clocks in, that means my Glistener Elf plus my Vines is actually lethal, which is good. I love having to only count to 10 instead of 20. Isn't that so fun? A Ninja. Okay. Praetor Strike would be the best draw, or Rancor. Groundswell is good now, too, because now I can just use Groundswell when my opponent goes to block with a Ninja. And if they don't, they're dead. Alright. Let's go ahead and Groundswell. I think they just have nothing in hand, which is good. So I'm actually just going to go for the win. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go for the win. If they have a snap, it's going to be, it's going to suck. But there isn't much I can do about it. No, they just have 6. Sweet! Alright. Well, my opponent mulliganed to 5, and I had the better hand. This deck actually mulligans fairly well to 6. Anywhere below that, it can be kind of bad. Um, but game two, it was just a matter of, my plan is better than my opponent's plan, and I drew slightly better. Even though I think this is kind of a typical draw, the fact of the matter is I only had to count to 10 instead of 20. So that was that match. Join me back for another one. I'll see you soon.